This film was a classic example of a director actually sitting back, analyzing what he's working with, and filming accordingly. Seems like with some of these Marvel films today, just directors are just eager to jump in and get that $500 million box office without actually thinking about what it could become. And let's be honest, we all had doubts before we watched this movie. Gotta admit, a shrinking man is kind of a stupid concept. I mean, what's the action in that? But this film is extremely comparable to Guardians of the Galaxy because they take a stupid concept. I mean, come on. A white guy, a green girl, a raccoon, a tree, and then some killer that is sarcastically retarded. But it worked because its execution was phenomenal. Admittedly, our low expectations might have contributed to the film in some way. But with a movie that has a stupid premise and a stupid concept but actually pulls it off, the main thing that's going for them is comedy. Alongside this, a film that makes the character vulnerable is usually the best one. In a superhero film, it's kind of hard to make a character with powers vulnerable since, they have powers, usually really smart people. In fact, Scott Lang, who is played by Paul Rudd, he's an electrical engineer, so he's smart. But Ant-Man still manages to make it seem like his life is shit and he uses this suit in certain ways even though he's in trouble to just get out of situations. And then sometimes he doesn't actually get out of situations. It's not like he's always just winning. His ex-wife is making it clear that he has to get better if he wants to see his daughter, which is something some fathers can emotionally relate to when it comes to divorce and all that. And that's why when the movie concluded, I immediately said, yo, that was better than the Avengers. And then the friend that was to the left of me was just like, no, it's not. I know it's not a popular opinion, but I still think Ant-Man was better than Ultron. Now hear me out. With Ultron, not one time did you think, oh, the Avengers are so screwed, they're not going to get out of this situation. You knew that they were in a somewhat dire situation, but you knew they'd get out of it. Their powers are amazing. They're all freakishly smart. They say lines that can never be pulled off in real life. And to be completely honest, I was just waiting for the last 30 minutes or so, which is the final action sequence, to happen. With this film, the comedic talent was just everywhere. I mean, there were 3 characters that were completely dedicated to just comedic relief. And then the main character was comedic relief, the serious character was comedic relief, the villain was pretty funny himself, but that's where the film doesn't shine as much. I mean, the villain was well acted and, he did serviceably, but he wasn't like a standout villain. Ultron was an amazing villain. But that villain, the yellow jacket, I don't even remember his name actually, he was just kind of eh. I mean, honestly, he's just like the villain of Iron Man 1 and 2. His motivations were monetary. Another classic case of the super suit to make the soldiers better. What is my hand doing? He has a sly manner of speech. He's a complete douche. Also, Scott Lang is kind of like a Peter Quill if you think about it. When I was talking about Ant-Man in one of the comment sections once, someone disagreed with me. They both have verbal shenanigans that get them into trouble. They're both thieves before they become heroes. Because they stole a certain thing, that's what makes the entire plot of the movie happen. They both find the humor in even the most oh shit moments. And they both can make any scene serious in an instant. Couple that with the fact that they look almost exactly alike, and there's my point. Something else that makes this film less than extraordinary is the first 15 to 20 minutes before you see Scott Lang, the film is boring as dick. I tell you, the moment he's on screen, the film becomes completely enjoyable. Which further highlights how the casting of this movie is just on point. Now you couple all this with an amazing 3D experience, camera angles that really sell the fact that he's a small person, and perhaps the best surprise cameo of all time, and you have a perfect fit for Marvel Phase 3. Final score is a 6 out of 7.